Hello, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. We just found this very room with the biggest and largest and loudest echo of Budapest. But I'm sure you will enjoy this press conference. Hello, because this is the official press conference of the TRA 2026 of Budapest. I'm glad that I'm your host today, and I hope that we will have a great time together in this coming, let's say, 45-50 minutes. And a huge welcome from Budapest to all of the people who are watching us live on our live stream, because we have a live stream about the official press conference of the TRA 2026. My name is Zoltan. I'm coming from the world of motorsport, so I just love mobility. I love cars. I love, trains. I spent a few days in Austria the last weekend, and I was using the ÖBB, the Österreichische Bundesbahn, and it was a fantastic service. And I'm a keen biker, so I know a few things about transportation and mobility, but I have to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, we Hungarians just love mobility and just love transport. During your stay in Budapest, please check the 5,000 Hungarian forint bill, all right? You will see a wonder, because we just love mobility and transport so much that we put our very first permanent bridge onto the 5,000 Hungarian forint bill. It's the chain bridge, one of the most famous bridges of the world, and we put it on our 5,000 Hungarian forint bills. Anyway, so in the next, let's say, 45 to 50 minutes, over the next hour, representatives from Hungary, this beautiful country, from the European Union and the TRA will discuss the significance of the event, this TRA 2026 event, the EU's role in transportation, and how Hungary is contributing to the advancement of transport transition. So we will make and organize this press conference in two halves, just like a good football match or a football game. By the way, in 2 weeks' time, we will have the Champions League final here in Budapest. So please prepare yourself to watch the live coverage from our capital city. So we will do it in two halves. In the first half, you will witness three keynote speeches, three brief presentations. Then you will have the opportunity to ask questions. And then we will have the second half with another few brief keynote speeches, and then of course at the end you will have the opportunity to ask again, and of course you can make one-on-one interviews if you would like to do so. So now, ladies and gentlemen, let's put it more serious and more, informal, or formal rather. Next up is, and we will start with the Director General of European Commission's DG Move organization, who will talk about the role of EU in the transition of transport. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together, the one and only Magda Kopczynska.
Thank you. Thank you for this very loud welcome.
Sorry.
It's a bit unusual, I'd say, for press conferences, but I take it when I get it. Thank you so much. Very warm, good afternoon at this point in time. Indeed, my name is Magda Kopczynska. I'm responsible for part of the European Commission that deals with mobility, transport and tourism. And we are one of the two co-organizing Directorate General for Transport Research Arena. And I'm very happy to be in Budapest in May 2026 for this event. Why Transport Research Arena is an important event that we co-organize, we hold every 2 years, is because, as you heard from the introduction, transport is important for the people, for citizens in Europe. Transport is important for European economy, but transport cannot develop, transport cannot progress without innovation, without new technologies, but also innovative ideas. And this is really what TRA, Transport Research Arena, is about. To bring people together, to bring new research, new innovations, academics, universities, think tanks, but also those who make those new ideas into real products, into real services. So transport operators, transport-linked companies, but also companies dealing with all those horizontal themes such as data, such as, of course, artificial intelligence. And what we have been trying for many years now is use TRA as a bit of a test ground, as a bit of a meeting point where all those ideas, all those people can come together, can discuss, and then can come back to us in the European Commission and tell us what are the points of focus, what are the elements that we need to look into, including when it comes to funding. Because obviously when I think about transport development, I also need to mention funding. In the current budget of the EU, so-called multi-annual financial framework, through Horizon Europe, which is the key program dedicated to research and innovation, we have invested 7 billion euros in various elements linked to transport innovation. Cleaner vehicles, sustainable fuels, smarter infrastructure. And these are not just ideas, these were real projects that actually moved from a concept to reality to deployment. One thing that if you have followed discussions on the financial development on budget in the European Union is, one thing you might have noticed is that we have become quite clearly aware that we need to do even more. It's not enough to have good ideas. Europe is pretty strong when it comes to new patents, new innovations, new concepts, but it's even more important to make sure that all those new ideas become reality. That's why in the new financial framework, in the next budget for the years 2028-2034, in addition to another framework for research and innovation like Horizon Europe, we also propose European Competitiveness Fund, which will really help European companies, European businesses to push and to introduce all those new concepts, new ideas onto the market to make them part of European innovation and European inventiveness, if I may say so. Transport will and should play an important role of those discussions. Transport should be an important part of that budget. Obviously, I can't tell you what will be the details of that budget because it is now being discussed and negotiated by EU member states. But I think the timing and the place and the size of this year's TRA is a good example of a lot of potential and a lot of interest that is there when it comes to making transport more innovative, making transport safer, making transport more sustainable, and making transport very much people and business oriented in the EU. I will stop here and I will be happy to take your questions later on. Thank you very much.
Lovely. Thank you very much for Magda Kopczynska. So, of course, you will have the opportunity to ask questions if you would like to ask some questions from our keynote speakers. Okay, let's talk about the science in the next few minutes, in the next 5 minutes. Science behind the transportation. And let's talk about the scientific topics and highlights of this year's TRA. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the scientific lead of this year's conference, Domokos Esztergár Kis.
Thank you very much for the correct pronunciation. So welcome to TRA. The conference has demonstrated the remarkable variety of our transport research and innovation landscape. The discussions will cover a range of key topics, and it is clear that transportation is undergoing a profound transformation, where user-centered mobility, green mobility and decarbonization, planning and operation, and transport digitalization play a crucial role. One of the most significant topics is the change from system-oriented to practical planning towards user-oriented mobility, where the shift is driven by advancing behavioral modeling, human-centered design, and the expansion of shared mobility services. We should recognize that mobility must serve people first, including accessibility, inclusiveness, and quality of life. Another pressing issue that we face is decarbonization of transport systems, where the key trends, such as the development of zero-emission vehicles, the expansion of charging and alternative fuels infrastructure, the transformation of freight and logistics, and the merge of circular economy principles together with climate-neutral systems and smart ecosystems. It's a big challenge to plan and operate transportation systems efficiently. Thus, these systems must be resilient to climate change and extreme events. And we should pay attention to urban congestion, management, and land use integration, the evolution of logistics systems, and last mile delivery, and also the importance of economic analysis. Finally, we are witnessing the rise of digitalization and autonomous vehicles across road, rail, maritime sectors, and the development of connected transportation systems, the use of big data and machine learning that supports the optimization of traffic flows, and the development of predictive transport solutions, enabling proactive management. So about the program, the TRA conference serves as a platform for this wide set of research topics, and the high level fully reflects this richness. There are 4 plenary sessions, one every day, which is directly connected to the main topics of the conference, while the strategic sessions, 3 every day, focus on the strategic and structural questions, the potential way of developing advanced technological solutions, and the integration opportunity across transport modes with high-level invited speakers. This was also accompanied, or will be accompanied, by 30 special sessions organized by the technological platforms covering the main topics of the conference. Finally, we also organize 70 technical sessions where researchers and practitioners have the opportunity to share the latest research results and real-life implementation experience. This is complemented by posters that are available during the whole time of the conference in a dedicated area. So we can say that TRA 2026 has provided a truly comprehensive platform for exchange and collaboration. The conference organization started 2 years ago with the announcement of the call for papers. The interested authors could submit their abstracts during the summer 2025, and they were evaluated by local program committee members, and the chosen authors could submit their full conference paper in September 2025. After a very exhaustive review process, the authors were informed in January 2026 when they have submitted their final conference papers. The success of the conference is evident by the impressive level of the engagement from the scientific community. As a record, very high number, we received almost 1,600 abstracts. Only 3% were rejected, mostly because of out of scope. And finally, more than 1,200 full papers were submitted, where 9% were rejected after the rigorous review process. As TRA, I would like to show you some statistics. As TRA has some historical ties to road transport, of course we received the highest number of submissions in this transport mode, but also rail and passenger transport showed high interest besides logistics, air and waterborne. Regarding participation of the countries, we can see that the highest number of submissions were received from Germany, followed by Spain, France, Italy and Greece. Fortunately, Hungary reached also the top 10, so we can say that we have a sustainable level of local representation to the research community. The review process was very long and efficient. Altogether, we sent more than 5,000 review requests and involved 2,000 reviewers. Not all of them did the review, but we asked them at least. Most reviewers realized 2-3 papers, but there were some exceptional ones who did more than 10 papers. So thank you for that, and thank you for the voluntary work that was very essential to maintain the scientific quality of the conference. Finally, I would like to present the conference in numbers. Altogether, we had almost 1,000 papers, from which 550 were presented or are being presented as posters, and 420 submissions are part of the oral sessions. More than 800 authors decided to be part of the conference proceedings, and these numbers are not just statistics, but they also represent the rich knowledge that has been shared, the great ideas exchanged, and the future collaborations initiated. Thank you very much for listening to me.
And thank you very much for the numbers and the effort you put in this conference. Thank you so much. This will be packed, fully packed with interesting discussions and panel discussions in this 3 or 3.5 days. Thank you very much, Domokos. And just before we will give you the opportunity to ask some questions, please welcome our next speaker, because we have to talk about the next generation of researchers. They are very important for this community as well, as far as I understand. So please welcome from the TRA Visions, our representative from the Visions, to hear a few words about the role young researchers play in transportation science. Ladies and gentlemen, on the stage, András Munkácsi.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon. So following the presentation of how we prepare the conference program, let me briefly introduce another key element of TRA 2026, our key conference theme, regeneration in transport, and another closely related component of the event, the TRA Visions Awards. So when we started planning this conference almost 4 years ago, we wanted to identify a key theme that could highlight the role of the next generation of researchers and transport professionals, and also that can truly capture the profound transformation currently taking place in transport. The concept of regeneration reflects multiple parallel transitions. We are experiencing demographic changes, we are witnessing rapid technological development. At the same time, the labor market is being reshaped, while the energy transition and climate challenges require entirely new approaches to mobility and logistics. And of course, every transport mode faces its own regeneration challenges. This overarching concept of regeneration in transport aims to capture these complex transformations and has guided the preparation of the entire TRA 2026 program. The same spirit is reflected in the TRA Visions Awards. These awards, introduced during the 2014 edition of TRA in Paris, aim to highlight European research excellence and strengthen the competitiveness of the European transport sector by recognizing innovative concepts and solutions emerging from research and innovation activities. But the awards are not only about recognizing excellence, they are also about creating visibility, disseminating knowledge, and encouraging future cooperation across the European transport community. This edition introduces several important new elements. First, we expanded the award categories by splitting two former cross-modal categories into two separate fields, passenger transport and logistics. This better reflects the growing importance of integrated mobility and supply chain solutions, and it also responds to the diverse interests of applicants. Besides the already existing Young Researcher and Senior Researcher Awards and the Special Honorary Award, this time we have introduced a new Host Award, demonstrating the host country's commitment to recognizing high-level research, specifically the best paper connected to the already mentioned key theme of the conference, regeneration in transport. In addition, TRA Visions is now fully integrated into the conference structure and communication channels, creating a much stronger connection between the awards and the overall event. For the very first time in the history of TRA Visions Awards, the winners not only come to stage to receive their trophies and certificates, but they have a significantly stronger presence within the conference program, participating as speakers in strategic sessions, panel discussions, keynote activities, and technical or poster sessions. All of them are highlighted in the program. The numbers clearly show the growing interest in this initiative. We received 216 submissions for the Young Researcher Awards, more than 3 times the number from the previous edition, as well as 68 Senior Researcher applications, also exceeding the previous edition's figures. The Host Award winner was selected through a thorough evaluation process from among the 1,274 submitted full papers, and altogether 65,000 euros in prize money will be awarded to the young researchers and the Host Award winner. For this support, I would like to express our sincere gratitude to all sponsors supporting the TRA Visions Awards. You can now see their names on the screen. Their commitment plays an essential role in recognizing and encouraging the next generation of transport researchers and innovators. Finally, let me draw your attention to the award ceremonies taking place during the conference week. The Young Researcher winners have already been announced during this morning's opening ceremony. while the dedicated Young Researcher Award ceremony and the gala dinner will further celebrate the award winners this evening and tomorrow, when the trophies and certificates will be officially presented. Thank you very much for your attention.
András, thank you very much for your important messages, and it's great to know that you are focusing on the next generation of researchers. Thank you very much for all of the numbers. Talking about the program, ladies and gentlemen, please do not forget to download the TRA 2026 application. You can find every information, every detail about our 3.5 or 4 days programs on this or in this application. So now we will have a short break. Do you have any questions to the speakers you just saw on the stage or heard on the stage? If you have any question, please raise your hand. Just give us the name and the media you represent, and then go ahead with the question. Or we can move forward to the next speaker. All right, so let's continue. And at the end of the press conference, of course, you will have the opportunity to ask questions. All right, so now, next, we are moving on to road innovation and infrastructure. Please welcome, representing ERTRAC, Herr Stefan Neugebauer.
Thank you so much. Yes, I think we are all aware about the challenges in road transport and all transport modes. So decarbonization, I prefer defossilization, digitalization, and then another highlight was mentioned by Director General this morning, Magda Kupczynska. It's a circular economy. And this is really very important, at least because of resilience in Europe. But what does this mean? Ladies and gentlemen, when we are talking about Europe, we need to recycle at least around about 4 million vehicles each year. 4 million. This means that we need a completely new industrial process to do this. And therefore, we are in discussion with the European Commission. We proposed a flagship initiative to say, okay, let's do it for the first time, a reverse factory training how to do it and how to recycle cars from different brands, with different age, with different technologies in an industrial way. And this means we need to move from low-tech, today it's absolutely low-tech, the recycling, towards high-tech. And this means that we need robots. We need highly automated processes. We need diagnostics and sorting. We need traceability of components. So we need to reuse all these things and to use new technologies with digitalization, with artificial intelligence. So a completely new process from the past, from low-tech towards high-tech. And the proposal from our side is really, together with the European Commission, to create such a factory which is able to deal, in the first step, with around about 100,000 vehicles each year in such an industrial process. And the challenge is to create this in a way that it makes profit. Because at the end, if it is not profitable, it will not come. Very simple. And this is the ultimate challenge, and a lot of things needs to be developed. So we need all these different technologies, from data towards artificial intelligence, robotics, mechanics, digitalization. All these elements are coming together to create this. And this is what we described in our one of our new roadmaps for circularity. If you're more interested, feel free to check the roadmaps on the ERTRAC website. It's just an example for the future of road transport and a new element in addition to the well-known defossilization and digitalization. Thank you so much.
Lovely. Stefan, thank you very much for your keynote speech. Lovely. Thank you. Thank you very much. Of course, if you have any questions, please remind that you will have the opportunity to ask these questions. Thank you very much. Interestingly, I will work tomorrow at the Audi factory in Győr to talk about these topics as well. So this is very, very, very important for the car manufacturers and OEMs as well. Nowadays, you don't have to work in the industry to hear a lot about challenges in logistics and supply chains. I mean, during the COVID, we all witnessed how the global long supply chains vulnerable are, and this is very, very interesting as well to talk about this one. So here is someone from Alice, representing Alice, to talk about this very exciting part of transportation. So please welcome Fernando Liza.
Good afternoon. First of all, let me ask you a question, and it's very much linked to what it has been said before. We are now working in research and innovation projects that have demonstrated technologies in pilots. But then we have the issue how we move from pilots to actual deployment. So this is the gap that I'm going to address in the next 4 minutes. It's not so much on the what, but it's on the how, because I think we have plenty of ideas in Europe. The issue is how we realize them in practice. So, and here is the proposal in which we are looking into how innovation has been done in Europe for the last years. We started with ideas, research and innovation projects, solutions, then try to address the market. While we are here proposing is Alice for Impact. Instead of starting from that point of view and understanding technologies are moving very fast, now we said we need to start from the market needs, from the deployment needs, and really looking into the mega trends. And this is not conceptual. In Alice, we have looked into more than 30 different cases in which we have practically moved from research and innovation results to practical implementations, deployments, and startups that are now providing the European economy what it has been given to them in research and innovation projects. Let me address with one example, MixMove. MixMove is now a small SME, but is already employing more than 40 people. And MixMove started out of a project called iCargo. And it's a digital logistics orchestration platform, connecting fragmented systems in one network, optimizing transport and reducing emissions. All this has been done through a project. And in that project, the beauty of the reason this success is essentially because those customers using that technology were already involved in the research and innovation projects, providing and giving their needs, requirements, and also accompanying the deployment of the technologies in real world conditions. Then later, we also have different type of impact, not on particular solutions, but also how research and innovation projects are actually addressing critical challenges of our society. Really, one of them is decarbonization, it has been said today, and one of the main problems in transportation and logistics is accountability. It's very difficult to account for emissions and then to compare. And this is what two projects did, COFRET and LEARN, funded by the European Commission. And actually, these projects were taken by an organization called Smart Freight Center, and these were transformed into an ISO standard that is now a global reference. So from Europe, we managed to get a global reference on emissions measuring and reporting. And actually, these two projects have also created the ground for a European regulation on count emissions EU. So, last but not least, I'm also glad to share with some of our colleagues from AirTrack some of the new generation of projects. One of them is CEFES. And CEFES is about everything dealing with new technologies for electric trucking. And the difference of this project is that it's not only testing those technologies into the application. It's also looking how they are integrated in freight transport and logistics supply chains effectively, how the operations need to be changed. And this is critical for deployment, and it's really important, and we are glad of this European Competitiveness Fund that we believe it's going in the right direction to really move from research and innovation results to real impact. So here is a call for action. I do believe we are on a good track. I always invite you all to get to work with us. One thing I want to share, when we are talking about transportation technologies, for example, in trucks, the market is around 60 billion per year. When we look into the amount of services that is provided through those vehicles, it's more than 350 billion. And there is where we have the lever for investment, for our innovation, for our competitiveness, for our resilience. So then let's integrate those needs, requirements from the start in the projects. Then we will get the investment lever to make our technologies really to move forward to the market. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you very much, Senor Lisa. Muchas gracias. And now it's time to board and depart with our airplanes. So now we will fly up to the skies, ladies and gentlemen. Please welcome our next speaker representing ACARE, who will talk about aviation and air mobility. On the stage, Joris Melkert.
Okay, thank you very much for the nice introduction. Never been introduced like this before. I want to bring you into the realm of ACARE. ACARE is the aviation ETP, and here I have a picture of some of our volunteers. It's a volunteer network with all stakeholders in the sector. We bring a number of advices there, but we do that based on the science. We have academia in the network, we have research institutions, but also the manufacturers, for large parts, small parts, full aircraft, the operators, the airports, etc. You may not know us, but maybe you've heard about the report in the middle of this page. It's the Flight Path 2050. It's probably the most cited report in the aviation sector. Every scientific paper started with that. In the meantime, there's a new update, the Green Deal document, which looks into the near and the more further distance in developing aircraft, developing the aviation sector, and also framing it towards carbon neutral aviation, which is going to be bloody hard to reach. It's one of the most difficult sectors to abate. It's very carbon intensive still. Why is that so? Well, because the sector is rather complicated. There's many stakeholders. The picture shows you all the types of aircraft, the operators, the air traffic control sector. It's an integrated system. It's very, very safe, but it's also very complex by now. It also has a very long lead time. Developing an aircraft takes many, many more years than developing the next car model. We're literally talking decades, and that also means it's very difficult to abate the sector. Where can we see the impact? The impact in economic sense, the top left-hand corner, you can see that it comes from the larger aircraft, the regional aircraft plus the large long-distance aircraft. That's where the money is being earned. The environmental impact also comes from that part of the sector, the regional aircraft, the small medium-range aircraft, and also the very large aircraft, where the largest impact is because they consume the most kerosene. What can you expect from us the coming months? We're busy on 2 position papers, one on the economic benefit, the competitive edge of the sector. Another one is looking at the resilience of the aviation sector, because you see now clearly we're very sensitive to changes in the supply of fuels, fossil fuels for the time being still. So this is what you can expect in the months to come. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Melkert. Thank you very much for all this useful information. As far as I understand, Mercedes Formula One team is working on a sustainable air fuel, or they are involved some kind of enterprise working on this one. Thank you very much, and have a very useful few days here in Budapest. All right, let's back to land, rails specifically, ladies and gentlemen. Next up is Dr. Marion Berbino from Iraq.
Much. So I represent the European Rail Research Advisory Council. Yes, sorry. Okay, just technical problems. So ERAC is also like the previous platform, a technological platform. So you know that rail is very important in Europe. Rail is positioned as a key to climate neutrality. Rail is offering stable job and industrial leadership. Rail is able to ensure resilient mobility during crisis and socio-economic backbone. We published the future track for rail. Sorry. With several topics: increase of rail capacity and boost agility, sustainable and resilient rail transport. We need to address customer needs for freight and urban and regional passenger transport, and to drive simplification by ensuring a standardized and harmonized approach. So I think we are quite in line with the other presentation, also in road and aviation also. For the goals and plans, the use of rail will increase. We have seen at the opening session the Transport Ministry defending rail, and rail is a solution during fossil energy crisis. Rail is essential for competitiveness, and rail is now viewed through the lens of resilience, sovereignty, and dual use for civilian and defense. And there is a huge need for research and innovation, even if we have to go near to market to very high TRL. And we need to focus on system optimization, multimodality, and resilience regarding climate and cybersecurity and full decarbonization. But we need also for young engineers and PhD training. I think it's very important because we are missing experts. In the near future, we need new engineers to have a new generation, like Tierra is in phases young researcher, and this is very important. The requirement is to have a new joint Rail research and innovation initiative, joint innovation across the full value chain. As mentioned before, I think we need all the stakeholders, operators, suppliers, SME, but also researchers, universities, and urban and suburban rail authority. We need to integrate technologies from other sectors, and this is very important. Rail cannot be developed like in a silo. We need to integrate different technologies. We need to cover all TRL levels to strengthen industry and academia. And we need to simplify programs with agile funding and reduce administrative burden. And we explicitly need to include urban rail with mechanisms suited to local operational contexts. And we need to give a larger part to academia financing. I think it's very important for the future and for the training of new experts. That's, thank you very much for your attention.
Merci beaucoup. Thank you very much, Dr. Marion Berbino, lovely, thank you very much. And by the way, our new Minister for Transport and Infrastructure is a huge fan of rail. So, I mean, he's not only a minister, but a content creator and influencer, creating a lot of content about the transportation on rail. Thank you very much. Let's talk about the voters, because we are here in Budapest, which stretches on the two banks of this beautiful river called Danube. So voters and shipping are next topic, ladies and gentlemen. Please welcome from Waterborne Technology Platform, Jaap Gebraad.
And thank you for reminding, because when preparing, and luckily today I have the correct papers, because sometimes I take my shopping list and then I have a speech and I think, what am I going to say? But thank you for reminding, because we always need to look, what does this sector mean to you? And in that sense, we are at a perfect location, not only in terms of tourism on the Danube, but certainly also at the unlocked potential of the use of rivers in terms of cargo transport. We are representing 130 members from 19 EU member states and 4 countries associated to Horizon Europe. Now, why are we called waterborne? Because nobody can translate that terminology into national language. I tried it in Dutch and I don't come to anything, because in some languages maritime does not include inland navigation. So we said, okay, we make it waterborne, which is then encompassing the entire ecosystem. I think most of the sectors will say the same as we do. We are all looking at the same issues at the same moment in time: competitiveness, resilience and sustainability, and we all need to address it, I think, from an ecosystem perspective. Besides that, we also have some differences to which I will come back. Now, why does waterborne transport, and I'm not speaking about the technology platform, but transport matters to you? Because, and there is not that much in this room, but until today 80% of what arrives in your houses comes by ship. 40% of intra-EU trade comes by ship. It are quite critical numbers, and we've seen in COVID, but also recently, what it implies when ships are being stranded, basically, like currently in the Strait of Hormuz. What makes it different is not only the international aspect, or different, what is one of the specific characteristics, but also the small and medium-sized enterprises. Most of the companies are small and medium-sized enterprises, even if we look at ship owners. Majority of the ship owners in the world has 1, 2, 3 vessels, certainly the ones that bring our gas and oil at the moment from that famous Strait of Hormuz. What are we looking at? How can we stay competitive? How can we become resilient and sustainable? And sustainable is not only greenhouse gas emissions, it's pollution to air. Ship sailing on the river should not cause any air pollution, but also pollution to water. Why is this important for Europe? And it's not always known. Around 36% of the worldwide fleet is European or European flagged. 50% of worldwide maritime equipment is European. 80% of the worldwide engines are European. So it really is in the DNA of the European industry. What are we looking at? As colleagues already said, there are 2 angles. Digitalization, but digitalization is not an objective, it's an enabler. And sustainability, including circularity. Why? I don't think I have to explain the sustainability, but the digitalization for 2 reasons. A, the international competition, but B, we are all facing, if we like it or not, lesser and lesser staff members on board of a ship and in shipyards or other production locations. So we need to start looking at how can we use digitalization to keep our ships sailing and to keep our ships being produced, our equipment being produced, without lesser people available on the labor market. That requires innovation, and the sector is always called conservative. I would say the sector is introvert, because it invests massively in R&D, but it specifically, as colleagues already said, requires upscaling and deployment. And there we have another issue which hopefully will be one of the themes today. A ship is only built when it's being ordered. A ship, there are no test ships. A ship on average is between 250 million and 2 billion, so I don't think that anybody takes the risk on testing. So let's see how we can upscale, test and then massively deploy so that Europe remains a leader, both in the production as well as in sailing the vessels. And that we will see in the conference.
Lovely, thank you very much, Mr. Jaap Gebraad. Can I ask you where you're from? From the Netherlands, okay, the kings of water level management. I just love your channel networks. Dank u wel. Thank you very much, Mr. Jaap Gebraad. And next up is our representative from ATRA, who will say a few words about transport innovation through research and skills. Please welcome Ingrid Skogsmo.
Thanks a lot. So, yes, I represent ETRA, as was said, and also ECTRI, the European Conference of Transport Research Institutes. And what is ETRA? Well, it's the European Transport Research Alliance with 5 associations that you see here, and we're joining forces in order to ensure that we have an open communication platform between the partners, because we think that is enriching the research landscape. And here the young researchers are really a central part for us as well, as were mentioned. And we also want to have mutual promotion between us. We also support the TRA conference, and it was recognized in the opening speech today. And examples of concrete work there is to be very involved in the in the TRA organizing committee and the program committee, and also to support the secretariat. So, skills, if we talk about that. First, we have heard a lot of TRA vision, and this is where ETRA also is supporting. Another activity is the Young Researchers Seminar, where those 5 associations that are in our alliance are organizing every other year a seminar, coaching seminar, where young researchers can not only get to know each other, but also get senior tutors from the member associations to give good and strong tutorships to encourage their careers and help them kickstart them. We also are involved in projects like the reskilling projects, where associations FERL and ECTRI are part, and this is a Horizon project aiming at looking at how the workforce needs to be equipped to take on and execute well this connected and automated mobility that we are seeing on our roads. So we really think that it is essential that we continue to work with cross-border training and cooperation, and that there are specific instruments for this. And this is not least important to also create attractive academic environments where we have lower barriers, so that we can get high quality research jobs in those institutions. And also, of course, research infrastructures are really central, and there needs to be European support for those as well, and also make them easily accessible for the EU researchers. Then we have heard a lot about that we have a lot of ideas in Europe and we are good at innovating. Yes, now it's maybe more focused to deploy those, but to continue to be highly competitive and to fill the pipeline and secure our competitiveness of the future, we need to work also with the basic research to allow failures in early phases when it's not so costly, and to have the foundation to create disruptive technologies and scientific breakthroughs. So we need also to work on the basic and low TRL research now, not in a couple of years, but we need to do that in parallel to the high, more deploy-oriented research. So we see, as I think was very clear from this morning, there is an emphasis right now on supporting industry, rightfully so, and on deploying and implementing research findings and good ideas, but we need to ensure that we do not create a lot of modal silos, but that we do continue the support for also the lower research. And also to involve the research community, to continue to involve in the setting of the research funding agenda. So we also have a couple of recommendations for the upcoming framework program, so that we can have this pipeline of good ideas to strengthen Europe's competitiveness. And we want to see not only continuous, but a stronger recognition and more support for basic and lower TRL research, so that, and also have a ring-fenced funding for collaborative research to really continue to foster this collaborative spirit that we have built up so well in Europe. And then to encourage cross-cutting topics, and to make sure that there are governance procedures and procedures overall when it comes to going into research programs, that it doesn't take ages from proposal to execution and maybe deployment, but there are smooth processes. And with those recommendations, I thank you so much for your attention.
We thank you, Ingrid. Thank you very much. So as far as I know, you had this gathering 2 years ago in Dublin. Am I right? In Dublin, TRA 2024. Now, this year we are here in the beautiful city of Budapest, and in 2 years' time, the TRA will be held in Italy. So after 3 or 4 days on Thursday, let's say afternoon or evening, we will hand over the torch, the flag, to the next host of the TRA, which is Italy. So please welcome Italy's representative for the next edition of TRA, Mr. Giampiero Mastinu.
Okay, so we will meet hopefully in a couple of years in Milan, and okay, we have the support by the current Minister of Transport. My university, Politecnico di Milano, is hosting actually the activities, and we will have also a company that will manage all the organization, and we have a company that is the in-house company of the Ministry of Transport for the direct link with the government and the Ministry of Transport in order to advertise and to stress the importance of our activities at the European level, because Italy will be will have the presidency of the European Council at that time where the TRA conference will be held in Milan. Then we have another a foundation that brings together 25 big companies in Italy working in the transport area and 25 universities. So we, in one shot, we get all the Italian network. This foundation has been funded with more than 300 million for the Next Generation EU program a few years ago. And KTI, of course, will help us in performing the next TRA. Actually is extremely effective in supporting us since now for the next event. And we have also a trade association for road in Italy. They represent automotive suppliers and OEMs. And we have a regional cluster that works in the field of railways, very active at EU level, and a company that will support us for the TRA vision. This is the team, and of course we have the local government of Lombardy region that support us, and last but not least the city of Milan that will help us with the castle for the gala dinner. And let me go to the topics that we have selected, referring to the competitiveness compass, and we will have to close the innovation gap, discuss on how to close in the innovation gap, decarbonizing the economy, and increasing the security and reducing dependencies. These will be the topics, and we will have 3 driving principles. We will involve very much the regions, because the transport policies are actually implemented at regional level, and we feel that the topic of regions is very much attention by at least by Lombardy regions, and we will also promote the startups at the exhibition, and we will have a triple helix approach. Here is a graph that shows how we will organize the conference, the horizontal and the vertical topics. I will not get into details. I just recall you that Milan is the crossing of two TNT corridors, and so we are actually in a right position to discuss about infrastructure. Maybe not all of you knows that Milan was the capital of the Roman Empire since 2000 to 86 up to 400, and so actually we will continue talking about transport, because due to exchanges was the capital of the Roman Empire displaced from Rome to Milan at that time. Here is the venue. It is not far from the downtown Milan, so it will be very close to downtown and close to the airports and to the stations. So, what about the technical visits? With high-speed trains and buses, of course, we can reach all the important industrial sites in the northern part of Italy and maybe reach Tuscany as well. As I mentioned, we will try to establish a direct link between European Commission and the Italian government that will have the presidency of the European Council in June 2028. After the conference, I hope you will enjoy Italy, and please send the teaser that introduces the Milan. Okay. Our trams that are still working daily in Milan. Thank you for your attention.
Grazie mille. Thank you very much, Giampiero, for the introduction of the next venue of the TRA conference. TRA 2028 will happen in Milan. All roads lead to, not to Rome, but to Milan. We have to rephrase these famous words. Thank you, grazie mille. And I was very happy to recognize the Ferrari logo as well, right at the Brembo logo. Thank you very much for the introduction of our next venue. Now, ladies and gentlemen, you will have the opportunity to ask any questions. Do you have questions to our speakers? Or you will keep it for the next 2.5 or 3 days. Okay, so thank you very much for being with us on this press conference. Please do not forget that you will receive a press kit and a press release via email, and please visit the traconference.eu for more information about our event, our conference. I wish you a very productive few days in Budapest. Please, enjoy your stay in our beautiful capital, and see you very soon. Thank you very much. Have a fantastic day. Thank you. Fantastic days. Thank you, and bye-bye. Thanks.